A couple times Sting brought in, every little thing she does is magic. He brought in a demo. We could have just put it on the radio right there. Hit, right there, with his little squeaky drum box, with his guitar playing instead of, whatever. It was a hit right there. And our problem was, how could we make it our hit, And so, we went back and forth and back and forth. But most of the songs, we would hear them, and within an hour or two, we'd lay down the backing track, and that's the record. For the drums, anyway. The bass, the guitar, they would spend the next few weeks redoing the guitar, layering more versions of guitar, changing, but the drums were recorded an hour or two from hearing the song for the first time. And so all those arrangements, all those things, I've seen pages of Drum World magazine analyzing how on the second verse he does this, and on the first verse he cleverly makes the decision. No, there were no decisions. This was just whatever happened on the day, and if we had used the next take instead of the first take, it would have been completely different drum fill being written up in Drum World magazine. Complete fluke that this thing happened that way, that time. And I think there's an X factor to the freshness of those. Of course, with those songs, I would play them on tour. And on tour, night after night, I think of a much better way. Song, Wrapped Around Your Finger. I didn't figure out how to get from the verse into the chorus and back down into the verse. And I have this lame way of doing it. I promise you, I have seen that lame drum fill analyzed to the nth degree online. It was not, I didn't, we were doing the take and I was sick of playing the song because the backing track was really boring. And I had no idea what a great song it would turn out to be. And I was, that's good enough. And, there's a lot of lamitude and so we go play the song on tour. And I figure out how to get out of that chorus. Can we go back and re-record that hit now? Now I know how to get out of the chorus back into the verse. Can we record it again? No. It is what it is. And I'm stuck. All those recordings are the Neanderthal version. The just, what, wake up first thing, what? That's the record that goes down in history. All the cool different ways I figured out how to do it. I played it in Seattle. I played it in Milwaukee. I played it in Chicago. You should have seen the way I played it in Atlanta. The version that is imprinted on people's minds is that, what, And there's one song, in fact, that called Murder by Numbers, where the take that is on the record is not just the first run-through, the first take, it's the first time we ever even played those songs with the three of us, And what happened was that we're having dinner in the dining room, and at the other end of the dining room is my drums, because the dining room had this wooden sound. The studio was down the stairs across the garden, and they had a studio, and they had lines going up to the drums to join them. And so Andy's playing these chords, these kind of jazzy chords, and Sting, who loves those jazzy chords, says, "Hang on, I think I got a lyric for that." And he reaches into his book and he says, "Yeah, I got it." And they're sort of working it out like that. Oh, cool. Let's give that a go. Hey, that's another song. Cool. And so I go over to the drums and I'm banging it, and while they're walking down the straights, and they plug in. I'm already playing, and they start. Before they get down there, the engineer, Hugh Pasden, has already beat them to it. He's got the tape rolling. So he's rolling, because he thought, that's kind of a cool rhythm. Let me just get a taste of that so that they don't forget it. And so he just basically, as a reference, he turned the tape machine on while I'm playing, and they're still walking down the stairs. They get in there, they plug in, and while I'm still playing, they just run the chord down and play the whole thing down. That's the record. I now have to figure out what the hell it was, and I'm reading Drum World magazine, there's analyzing whatever the hell it was. It sounds like the drums do a clean start, because they just edited it that way. They just, they muted it up until there's a kick, so it sounds like I start real clean. No, I had already been playing for however long, kind of finding that groove, and it took them a minute to get down there, and And at the beginning of that take, the tape's, you know, going from off to on, you know. So the beginning of that tape is before the tape was even rolling. So all those tracks are really spontaneous as far as the drums. Of course, the guitar, the vocals were layered over the next 2 or 3 weeks, and they got to think twice about what they did.
Okay, but back in the days, I mean, regarding this very issue, were you aware, oh, we should put, you know, this in 4 or in 1 or the X in 3? Did you actually talk about that? Or
Yes, for the first album, we did. From then on, no. The first album, we weren't recording an album. We were writing a set. We were organizing songs, mostly mine in those days. Terrible songs, 3-chord tricks, 2-chord tricks, 1 chord, no trick. You know, we had nothing else to do in the rehearsal room but figure stuff out, like Roxanne, like So Lonely, and Can't Stand Losing You. We figured out intellectually. Roxanne was an intellectual, strategic, hey, I had an idea, let's try, you know. And he said, wait a minute, how do I do that? And he had, you know, Sting had to figure out, okay, I got, you know, it took a second because it's contra, you know, the physicality, it's just, you had to, wait a minute, let me just turn that around. Got it. Second album, we didn't have time for that. You know, there's an old adage, you have your whole life to write the first album, and you have 6 months to write the second album. You know, you put everything you got into that first album, then we got to do it again. Well, we've used all our best songs. Write more. And so you do. So for our second album, and in the intervening time, we were touring, we hit America, and whoa, suddenly it all started happening for us. We're playing 2 shows a night across the land, you know, 6 nights a week or more. You know, we just playing, getting ourselves in front of American audiences. We were really lighting up, which the English audiences hadn't been doing so much. You know, in America, we learned who we are and why we are and what we are. We, you know, Andy and Sting and I just began to learn each other and get that thing going. And we had to stretch our thin material out and start to jam, and that's where material came from. So, time for the second album. Let's get another one, boys. You know, that first one caused a ripple here. Let's see if you can get an actual hit. And so now we're in the studio, and Sting's got a couple of songs that he wrote in hotel rooms, or that he had, you know, and got maybe 3 more, a couple by Andy, a couple by me, and okay, you know, we're a couple songs short of an album, you know. So we had to make up a lot of it right in the studio, just jam. A song like Mosoko Tango. We need another track. Okay, roll tape. You know, we going to start playing something. We make it on the spot.